the Super Bowl dream's over.
Yes.
Before Thanksgiving. The Buffalo Bills Super Bowl dream was coming to an end. I thought it would be in the Super Bowl, not in November. Week 11 of Laying the Wood. I'm JT the Brick, the Hall of Famer. Rod Woodson, who's been traveling like a madman. He's got a lot to say, so we're going to jump right in here. Man, this is wide open. I mean, every year we say it, and normally there's Kansas City that's trying to be a dynasty. Yep. Brady had a dynasty for 19 years, but this year, Rod, you're calling games with the Ravens. We're going to get to them, but I'm looking at still a couple of teams that I didn't expect to be here. The Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. Yes. I want to start off with those two teams. They're here, and it doesn't look like either are going away.
I tell you what, I'm still not sold on Indy because Daniel Jones showed me when he played the Steelers, there's still a little that's in there. Now, the Patriots, they look for real. Look, Mike Vrabel has done a tremendous job with these guys, especially a sophomore quarterback coming in there, balling out. He's in the MVP race. I don't know if he's going to win the MVP, but he's in the race, playing that well. The defense is playing really good. I mean, the whole overall team does not look like the same team from last year. And you have to give credit to Mike Vrabel of changing that mindset, bringing that old school, tough, defensive-sided mindset to the whole team, and they're playing that way. I
got to follow up with that. How the hell did Mike Vrabel take a 4-win team? And it wasn't like they killed it in free agency, but they got Robert Spillane, who's a pretty good player. Christian Gonzalez, when healthy, is really good. And then, they bring in Stephon Diggs. And all of a sudden, he's making plays, but I still don't. And Josh McDaniels with that offense, they're completely different.
That, to me, was the best hire for them. You got bringing him in and letting him teach the quarterback the way he sees the game and call it in a certain way, in a certain manner. He plays that old Patriot style, the Tom Brady style, and they're making plays. And the defense, they fly around and they hit you. They don't give up a lot of big plays. It's hard to run against them. Vrabel has really done a really good job in his first year of turning that team around quickly.
I believe in any sport. Baseball, I'm a big baseball guy. You want to win the MVP, it's home runs, RBI. Home runs, RBI. If you got hits, great. When it comes to hockey, it's always been our whole life goals. Who scores the most goals? In the NFL, it's touchdown passes or touchdowns by a running back. So I think we're down to 2. Listen to these stats. Matthew Stafford, 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2,427 yards. And then we go to Jonathan Taylor and the year that he's having, which is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Last week is nuts.
Yeah.
That's college. 200. Come on, man. First of all, I'm a defensive player. That's embarrassing that a dude run for 244 in the National Football League against you. Not high school, not college. This is supposed to be the best of the best of the best in the world. The one run where he runs up the middle, the long one, he runs up the middle, it's bottled up. He comes out and nobody can catch him. So, it tells you, he's stronger than he looks.
Yeah.
He's faster than he looks. And he's having an outstanding year. And that's one of the main reasons Daniel Jones is in that MVP race chatter.
Sure.
But he's truly the MVP.
Yeah, his numbers now, as we record, 10 games, 1,139 yards. He's averaging 6 yards a carry.
Yep. He's
got 15 touchdowns. He's averaging 113. Now, there's only 2 players in the NFL averaging over 100 yards. James Cook, 102. Jonathan Taylor, 113. Get this, there's no one in the 90s. And there's no one in the 80s until we get to Daboll, who's at 78. But there's no one. There's 2 running backs.
This is the problem I have. So, okay, let's go back to last year. Last year, Barkley had over 2,000 yards, 2,005 yards, right? He had 13 rushing touchdowns, all right? you go to Josh Allen, who won the MVP, had 28 passing touchdowns. All right, but he had some more rushing touchdowns, right? So he added on to that. Lamar had 41. Joe Burrow had 43. It's like the running back doesn't get enough credit for gashing people, and they're still only getting maybe 21 carries at the most, but it's still 8 in the box. You still got 11 guys on the field. Quarterbacks should be able to throw the ball more with the new rules, and with just in general, not back the old days when I played, there was like maybe 38, 45% passing, getting close to 50. Now they're almost 60% pass, 40% run, somewhere in that area. So they should throw for more yardage. I just don't know if they just give the running back enough love in the National Football League, because what's the last running back to win the MVP of the league? Not the MVP of the team, the MVP of the league. You got to go way back. So to me, you got to give them love, because you still got 11 guys on the field. They're still trying to tackle that one ball and that one ball carrier when he's running the ball.
All right, let's talk about Matthew Stafford for the MVP. I want to ask you specifically if you think any of these matchups can knock him back from winning, because he's going to have some bad games. So just beat San Francisco. He gets Seattle at home, Tampa Bay at home. Those are really two tough teams that play defense. After that, at Carolina, at Arizona, he's got another Seattle game. They got 2 Arizona games left and a game against Detroit. So what I'm just saying about Stafford is the games that he has remaining, 2 Seattle, 1 Tampa, 1 Detroit. Those are tough matchups.
He has 25 passing touchdowns already. He has 3 more. He matches the guy who won it last year. And Josh Allen, I love Josh Allen. I think he's a big physical playmaker for the Buffalo Bills. He has played outstanding for them. He's one of the main reasons they do win. But with that being said, should he have won it last year? Maybe not. I don't really know. He did win it. But Matthew Stafford is 3 touchdowns away from that number, from that mark. So the question always to me is, are you the MVP of the league? Have you played the best football on the offensive side that allows you to be the best? That one person who played the best throughout the whole year. And I think he can. I mean, he's playing lights out football.
So you're not
for his age and the way he's played, that is remarkable.
So you're not a win-loss guy. Burrow didn't have the wins last year, but he had the MVP numbers. So you don't think this record...
The win-loss does have a component to it. I mean, Joe Burrow didn't play defense, right? I mean, last year they scored a lot of points. They just couldn't stop anybody. So Joe, the end result of that is that he's not going to be in the race. You do have to win football games. Unfortunately, they give the quarterback too much credit when he wins and too much when he loses. And I think that hurts quarterbacks at times, but it didn't hurt Josh Allen this past year.
2-part question. If the MVP was given out today, Jonathan Taylor or Stafford?
I'm going Taylor.
Okay.
I just think he's been like the light for that team, and he's taken a lot of pressure off of Jones. Doesn't have to be that main guy week in and week out, and he's played well for him. Listen, Daniel Jones has played well for him, but Jonathan Taylor, I didn't know he was still this good. I mean, I knew he was good a couple years ago. Then he got a little banged up, but coming back and playing the way he's played so far, and how strong he is, he's breaking tackles. I didn't know he was that fast. I'm gonna be honest. Like, when he was out running everybody on that left sideline, I was like, nobody can catch him? Like, no DB can catch this dude? He's a lot faster than I thought he was.
And my follow-up question is, at the end of the year, if you were a betting man, Stafford or Taylor? Knowing the schedules, these are both veterans,
I'm gonna tell you
too.
what, if Taylor can get to 2,000,
you give it to him,
you gotta get. It's so rare.
Yeah.
In the National Football League, where 28, 35, 40 touchdowns is an average. It's like yearly. It happens every year from every quarterback. But when does 2,000 yards happen yearly in the National Football League from a running back? It doesn't happen that often. And has it ever happened back to back?
Yeah. Well,
with 2 different running backs?
No, I mean, not back to back.
That's my thing. So it's like you have to give him that love. And I think he's right there on the poise of going over the 2,000-yard mark.
When we come back, We got two big topics. Brian Daboll officially got fired. I'll tell you why he got fired, because I predicted that. And Rod's been telling you about the resurgence of the Ravens and how many games can the Ravens start stacking and win in a row. We'll get right back to that on Laying the Wood right here. Please download, subscribe, and share. All right, welcome back to Laying the Wood. Brian Daboll got fired this week. We don't want to see anybody get fired.
Yeah.
You're a Hall of Famer. You played for great coaches. I think he got fired because of clock management. 33 unanswered at Denver. All you had to do was run it, punt, run it, punt, run it, punt. He had Jackson Dart throwing incomplete passes, taking sacks. That was criminal. And then he had an opportunity to go for a go-ahead, put-it-away touchdown, 4th and 1. Russell Wilson was there. After he didn't get the player out of the game when he was concussed fast enough, it was just a complete meltdown by Brian Daboll, who's out with the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I hate seeing coaches get fired because they got families and they got a life. I hate seeing that. But when you're in a situation that he was in this past year, and knowing that Russell was a starter, it didn't work out the way anybody wanted it to, you bring in Dart, and he looked good initially. And then it kind of fell out. As soon as he got concussed and he went into that tent, everything else just kind of went away. It's like, okay, come on, you're the head coach. You're looking like a player. Instead of being calm, poised, cool under pressure, you're being stressed. And then what do the players see? They see that. So how can the players be under control and under pressure on a consistent basis? So to me, didn't like it, didn't want to see him get fired. It's one of those jobs that everybody wants, because even though nobody's won there in 15 years, I don't know, it's a great place to work because you're in one of the biggest cities, the biggest city in the country. The fan base is crazy, but you better bring in a really good coach. You can't bring in a young guy. I think you got to bring in an established guy.
Let's talk about some of the names. So we're gonna agree to disagree on this. The guy who deserves the job, he's a Mount Rushmore all-time coach, is Belichick. He deserves it. He deserves it. He wanted to end his career with the Giants. He's arguably the greatest coach of all time in all sports. If he wants that job, he should be able to pick up the phone to Mr. Mara and say, I'm ready. This is my last time. I'm going to bring in a coordinator for Dart. I want that job. Number 2, John Gruden already has a relationship with Dart. You know Gruden well. What do you like about that one?
I like that. I mean, it's just, listen, the one thing I know about John, going against his offenses before, he does strain defenses. Like he puts a lot of pressure on whatever they like to run, he'll make you think about your rules and what your rules need to be when you play against him. So, I kind of like that move. Belichick, I don't know about that one, but I do like to see Gruden get back into it, because I think he's very creative, and I think he challenges his players to be pros on the field and off the field.
There's only one guy on planet Earth who's coached Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Dak Prescott. Mike McCarthy is available. He's a quarterback coach. You just be bringing him in to lead the team. What about Mike McCarthy?
I wasn't thinking about Mike. Does he want to coach anymore?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to coach? He's ready?
He's ready to coach.
Well, if he's ready to coach, I mean, at least give him. I think no matter what, it has to be a veteran coach that goes in there. You cannot have a young coach that go in there. My
last one, I think the best fit, save the best for last. The guy who coached him in college, Lane Kiffin. Can you imagine Lane in New York City coming out of hot yoga? Coming out of hot yoga with all the ladies in New York going crazy?
I do not see that happening.
He coached him in college.
I do not see Kiff in the league.
He coached in the NFL.
I hear that. I know that. I think he's better suited for college. I would be shocked if he goes there. if they take him over the other three that we just
I
talked
think
about.
he's so deserving to be back in the NFL as the hottest commodity. There's no the coaches in college. Dabo had a window. He didn't take it. Look at the team now. Nick Saban's not going to do it. I mentioned Belichick. Steve Sarkisian, by the way, let's mention him. Steve Sarkisian, close to an NFL coach, turned it down for Lane Kiffin. Then he gave it to Lane with Mr. Davis.
Right.
Steve Sarkisian is going to try to coach Arch one more year because he recruited Arch. And Arch, not this year, but next year, should be the Heisman candidate and the number one pick in the NFL draft. So I think that job, like you said, I think that Giant job's a big job.
It's a big job, but I do think it has to be a veteran coach. It can't be one of the young, up-and-coming coordinators in the league right now.
Next topic is fascinating on my radio shows this week. I was on the night that the Steelers lost to the Chargers at SoFi. So I have a really big thing I always say in sports radio. Anybody can call in when their team wins. Hey, pick up the phone, we won.
Right.
When you call in when your team loses, that's when I pay attention. The Steeler fans, the Yinzers, they were calling in. I had 9 lines full. And they're going, not fire Tomlin. They're just saying, we're stale. We can't win. We're 9 wins every year. We're not going to win a playoff game. And I'm saying, I would like to have the stability of Mike Tomlin's last 19 years. I'd like to have his record in Las Vegas and at the end of Oakland. So your Steeler fans from your days there, they're getting restless with Aaron Rodgers and Tomlin. I just think it was a bad loss at the Chargers. How do you see it?
It was a bad loss. I mean, I was shocked that the offense couldn't move the ball. I mean, it wasn't like they scored 35 points, and 28 points. It wasn't like that. It was like they struggled of moving the football consistently throughout that game. And that was shocking, especially having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. Just for me, it's just trying to figure out what's the game plan week in and week out. What do they do well as an offense? Defensively, they're very inconsistent on the defensive side also. I know a lot of people have been asking for Mike Tomlin's job, but Steelers ain't going to do it. I mean, they would have to. I think he has that. I think he should have the choice to walk away when he wants to walk away.
100%. The leading receiver on the Green Bay Packers is Tucker Kraft. He's gone for the year.
Right.
He's a tight end. Matt LaFleur is getting heat because it's kind of the same thing. He's got a really good winning percentage. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl. That's my NFC pick this year.
Still?
Well, no. I don't back off. I don't change my mind, Rod. I don't just switch every 2 weeks. But who are they going to throw it to? Josh Jacobs, I'm looking at the receivers. Kraft is out. Romeo Doubs, 4 touchdowns. I look down the list. Christian Watson, no touchdowns.
Right. And that's my thing. Like,
they have no touchdowns.
Like the receiving core for Green Bay doesn't scare any defender in the National Football League. So why would you not stack the box and play man-to-man against them? They're struggling to run the football because they're playing with 8 in the box consistently. One of the best running backs in the National Football Leagues can't find a lane because there is no lanes.
All right, so then one more team I want to get to because you just got me going on this. My buddies went and saw Buffalo lose to Miami. And I get a call from one of my friends who said, I'm sitting in the end zone. So I'm watching the game from field level in the end zone, and oh my God, no one could get open for Buffalo. So Josh is running back and forth, extending the pocket, and he's got no one to throw to. So as I look at the Bills, how concerned are you? That is my Super Bowl pick to win it all. I thought this would be the year. Yeah, I'm going to stay with Buffalo. Their leading receiver, Shakir, has 457 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Dalton Kincaid's got 4.
Right.
Coleman's got 3, and then a bunch of zeros.
Right.
Why didn't they get a receiver at the trade deadline? Jacoby Myers ends up going to Jacksonville. Why can't Buffalo figure out that deal? Rent them.
What? That's one thing that shocks me because as good as Josh Allen is, his receiving core, if you're not a real Buffalo Bills fan, you're not going to know who these guys are.
Right. You're right. Great point.
Right?
Great point.
They got a really good running back in Cook. You got a solid tight end base. But their receiving core is a hit or miss. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not. They haven't played great, but they normally play great because their quarterback is a really good quarterback. And he can throw them open. He can extend plays, getting out of the pocket, find them when they get released. I just don't understand how, as a organization, and I'm talking not just the Bills, but all these organizations who have quarterbacks that are solid quarterbacks, and going out and trying to find other weapons for them to throw the ball to, or run the ball with them, or block for them. That to me should be a key ingredient, especially if you have a young, talented quarterback at your helm.
Right. Most everybody knows Rod travels with the Ravens. He's the radio analyst. Won 3 in a row. Tell me when they're going to have a loss. At Cleveland, Jets at home, Cincinnati at home, Pittsburgh at home, at Cincinnati, New England at home, at Green Bay, at Pittsburgh. So I nailed this sitting in this chair. I told you on this podcast they'd win 6 in a row. They've won 3 in a row. So I think Cleveland, Jets, Cincinnati, when I look at what's coming up here, because that win, the win that they just had at Minnesota was huge. So now they're going to get at Cleveland, I think they win. Jets at home, Cincy at home. Then we get to Pittsburgh. There's 2 games left with Pittsburgh, December 7th, and then the last game of the year. Pittsburgh wants to split now with Baltimore. Baltimore's got to be looking at Pittsburgh as a sweep.
Yeah, they put themselves in a bad situation by playing the way they did the first part of the season. But with that being said, I thought this was the best talented team in football coming into the year. And they're starting to play like it, little by little. And it's the craziest thing because on the defense side, offensively, as long as Lamar is healthy, they're going to score points. Against any defense in the National Football League, they're going to score points because Lamar's healthy. He's one of those type of players. Defensively, when they got Gilman for the trade of Oweh going to Chargers, and they went to the 3 safety rotation again because they're playing nickel for the most part, they play better football for some reason with 3 safeties being out there. It's the craziest thing. But soon as Gilman came in, they lost that first week against the Rams, but they played really well. They only gave up the 17 points. Lamar wasn't playing yet. And now they're starting to play the way they did the last 10 games of last year. So can they split with the Steelers? No, they put themselves in a bad spot unless the Steelers shoot themselves in the foot in the next couple of weeks where they lose another game or so. And then if you can win that first one at home against the Steelers, because I think they'll win the rest of the games they're going to leading up to the Steelers.
Yeah.
But the Steelers, they always split.
Yeah,
they always play them well.
You know.
They know how to play against Lamar. But if they can win the rest, and then they can win that first game, and then that last game back in Pittsburgh, that'll be the game for the playoffs. That'll be the game for the playoffs, and maybe the game for the AFC North.
When we come back, we'll wrap it up with a couple of featured games. We'll get Rod's opinion on the Buccaneers at the Bills. How about the Bears and how they're winning? They're playing the Vikings. And a game that I like a lot, Seahawks at the Rams. We'll get to all those games coming up on Lay in the Wood. All right, we're wrapping it up on Lay in the Wood. Before we go, please hit subscribe. Please hit like and make sure you share with your friends. We'll go to some of the games that we're looking at with Rod, and you wanted to mention Chiefs at Broncos. Look, how many 18-15, 15-13 wins are the Broncos going to get? I watched the Broncos. The Raiders had them dead. The Raiders could have won that game by 14-17. Gino got banged up in the game. Brock Bowers didn't have a target in the second half. So the Raiders gave that game to the Broncos. And you know what? That was 8 wins for the Broncos, 5-0 at home. The Chiefs come in. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos and they're a favorite at Denver, they're 1 game back from Denver. Big spot for Kansas City.
And Patrick Mahomes is 13-1 versus the Broncos in his career. So I would not be surprised if they go out there and play really good football.
Okay.
The Chiefs are just getting healthy. I know Pacheco was a little banged up right now, but Hunt is playing well. Rice is back. So they're starting to get to that point offensively, right, where they can throw the football, run it. Patrick Mahomes, we know how good he is in and out of the pocket. Defensively, they have been a little inconsistent at times defensively, but I think they'll come around. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs get into the postseason. Nobody wants to see that. I don't even want to see the Chiefs get in, and nobody wants to see the Ravens get in.
I think this game is massive. The winner of this game leads the division. 7-2 Seahawks at 7-2 Rams. In LA, Sam Darnold can beat anybody anywhere. Sam Darnold is unreal on the road. He can play at home, but Rams are more than a field goal favorite. I just can't get out of the way of the Rams. The Rams are running through people.
And didn't the Rams beat them earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when the Rams already beat them. So in their head, the Rams like, hey, this is our division.
Yeah.
It goes through us. They have to stump their foot. And then listen, Matthew Stafford, I don't know how old he is. How old is he? 41? Like, is he 39, 40? Somewhere in that area, right? Yeah. He's up there. He is playing lights out football. It looked like he's a 25-year-old again.
I thought in the preseason when we started this idea for this podcast, and some of the news I heard in the preseason, they shut him down. They were getting Jimmy G ready to play. Yeah. I'm like, he's going to miss at least 5 games. He's going to be like Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers. They're going to load manage him. He's going to miss some games. Not only has he not missed a play or a game, guy's lights out. I mean, he's MVP as we open this up. So yes. That's a huge game that I wanted to keep an eye on. And then Detroit, Philadelphia. I'm troubled by one thing. Dan Campbell took the play calling away for one game from Johnny Morton. Disclaimer, you know him from his years with the Raiders as a coach under John Gruden. He was a coach under Jim Harbaugh and under Sean Payton. He's a hell of a coach. He waited for this job because Ben Johnson went to Chicago. Right. He got elevated. Dan Campbell took the call sheet away from him. It worked for a game. You've played and you're a Hall of Famer. Is that a slippery slope? You played for Chuck Noll. The guys don't take play calling duties away, offense or defense.
Normally you don't. They didn't look like they were in rhythm.
Okay.
So I don't know if he gives it back to him, if he keeps it for a week. You know, it's just one of those things. As a head coach, sometimes you have to make a really hard decision that maybe is not popular with the staff, with your players, because Morton, he's a great human being too.
Definitely.
Right? But the head coach's responsibility is to do what he sees best for his team. And he called a game. They looked really fluid. They looked really good. They looked like the old Detroit Lions offense.
I can't imagine Dan Campbell calling plays the rest of the year.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen.
Play.
I don't know if that'll happen, but at least it kind of took some pressure off. And they are playing. They're playing against an equal team that everybody's like, oh, they're not that good. They're not playing. They're a pretty good football team because they're winning a lot of ugly games, but they're winning them in different capacities.
Jaguars had a 29-10 lead at Houston. Not only did they lose the game,
that's crazy.
They let Houston back into where they're comfortable in the playoff race. Any chance the Jags at home bounce back against the Chargers? Chargers are less than a field. They're a road favorite by 2.5. The Chargers are always going to be the Chargers, and something's going to happen. But I think this is an elimination game for the Jaguars. If the Jaguars can't win, they go to 5-5. Their season slipping away. If they beat the Chargers, they're 6-4, and they're right back. And they're in the wild card tonight as we record this podcast. Yeah. Jacksonville. This is going to be a big game. It's got to be a playoff atmosphere in Duval.
I mean, I would be shocked if the Chargers don't win. Because listen, I think Jacksonville is a good team. I'll leave it there. A good team. But I think Chargers can be a better team. And I think if they play their best football, the Chargers will win the football game. Listen, Travis Hunter, he's out for the year.
What happened there?
They don't know how to use. They didn't know how to use him. Now, he did get injured, so that's something that you can't blame the coaches and all that. But I just think they didn't know what to do with him. And they had him on some offensive plays. They had him on some defensive plays. So they had him all. And then recently they're like, okay, maybe we'll just put him as the offensive guy, and then situationally use him as on the defensive side. They still don't know how to use him. I think you have to, as a staff, you have to sit down and say, what is best?
You don't draft them if you don't know what you're doing with them. Why are you drafting them?
That's my point. But my point is, you have to have a solid stance of what I'm going. He is going to do this X, Y, Z. He's going to learn how to play defense or offense. That's what he's going to do for the whole year. And then maybe once he gets to that point where he's established, I can sprinkle him in somewhere else.
I don't know how you take a kid who was great, won the Heisman Trophy, right, and how difficult of a decision it's going to be. You're going to play him in the red zone on offense, and you're going to leave him out there for every play at corner and let him be a star corner, which this league is looking, as you know, for star corners.
Yes.
Next week when I'm sitting here with you, does Baker Mayfield beat Josh Allen in Buffalo?
How cold is it? What's the weather forecast? What's the weather forecast in Buffalo?
We'll ask our producer.
It's Tampa now. Listen, going up there, and if it's 30 degrees and windy and a little wet, listen, them Floridians, they don't like going up there, and they don't like going north late in the year. So, but I say that tongue in cheek, loving how Baker Mayfield has played this year. He's a gritty, tough little guy. Plays great football for his team. It's a solid football team. They've been very inconsistent also. But going up there late in the year and then Buffalo getting beat by Miami, they have to show up. Buffalo has to show up.
5% of rain.
Yeah, there's some type of atmospheric river coming here and everywhere. I'll leave you on this note. If Buffalo doesn't win this game at home, after losing to Drake Maye and the Patriots at home, and after losing to Miami, the Super Bowl dream's over.
Yes.
Before Thanksgiving. If the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl dream was coming to an end, I thought it would be in the Super Bowl, not in November.
You know what shocked me? I thought they could overcome Ed Oliver on the defensive side and still being a good defense, and they have struggled since he has left.
That's Rod Woodson. I'm JT the Brick. Please like and share with everyone, and catch us next week on Laying the Wood.